All right, so early voting's been going on for a little while, since last Tuesday, and it ends this Friday. So if people want to vote this week and not wait till next Tuesday to vote, how can they do that?
All they need to do is show up with their photo ID or voter registration card with a picture ID on it at any of our early vote locations, the county office, Andrews, Waccamaw, and Choppy recreational centers to cast their ballot. And as we've always said, no matter where you live in the county, you can cast your vote at any early vote location. So show up with your photo ID or your voter registration with your photo ID and cast your vote.
Now, I know, this was very popular when you've used it in the past for elections. Has it been busy? I mean, we haven't got a lot on the ballot, so has it been as busy this time?
As of this morning, 328 voters have cast their votes. The biggest turnouts at the early vote locations are obviously the county office and I want to say in Andrews. So Choppy and Pawleys Island have a smaller turnout this go.
So you've got the big county council race in District 3 for Andrews. So you think that's one of the reasons that is so popular there?
That's very possible. Keep in mind, candidates and issues drive voters to the polls. Those two things alone will give you some type of indicator of what the polls are going to look like.
Okay. Now, as far as Tuesday goes, it's going to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. And the vote counting, will it take place that night?
Yes.
Okay. The reason I asked is because I saw an email from you. There's something taking place the day after, some kind of audit.
Yes.
What is that all about?
Yes. So there's a new process that we have in South Carolina, and so we have to perform a hand count audit on whichever office the SEC tells us to. So this go round, we have three offices on the ballot. Depending on where you live, depends on which offices you'll see. So they may come to us and say, we want you to do a hand count audit of State Senate 32 office or County Council District 3 office or the congressional district race. So we won't know that information until next Monday, I believe. But yes, it's a public process. In the lobby, we open up the ballots. There are 3 approved audit examiners, and we hand count the results to make sure that they match what the results tape says.
Now, will you have to do this every time, or they just pick different places, different elections?
This is a new standard process. So this should take place now after every election.
But you won't have to hand count every race?
No.
Because, I don't know, in November, that would be a long process.
Well, hopefully they're generous and we have to hand count a small results office.
And what's the purpose of this? Just to make sure things are up and up?
To make sure that the tabulator is tabulating properly and that it matches whatever we tabulate. So it's just added insurance that the voting systems are in fact doing what they're supposed to.
And every county across the state's doing this next Wednesday. Okay. So what do people need to know as far as what's going to be on the ballot for them? What's on the ballot? Say, I know District 3, and that covers Andrews all the way to South Island and areas. That's a District 3 county council race. Anything else on the ballot for Andrews in that area?
Andrews will also see the congressional district race between Mal Hyman and Darrell Scott. Andrews will also see the state Senate race, State Senate 32, between Ronnie Sabb and Priscilla Scott. So Andrews, depending on where you live, will have either 2 or 3 offices on their ballot. The same for the city of Georgetown and your Choppy area, depending on where, so city of Georgetown, depending on where you live, because there's some of Georgetown 5 that is in County Council District 3. So depending on where you live, you could have 1, 2, or 3 offices on your ballot. Every voter on the next end of Pawleys Island and Waccamaw, they will only see the congressional district race. They only have the 1 office on their ballot.
Okay. Now, as far as where people can find this information, because I know it can get confusing. You might have something on your ballot and somebody 2 streets over have something different. So how can people go online and find what is on the ballot for where exactly they live?
The first place to start, and I know a lot of voters may not be map savvy, but we do on the GIS mapping portal on the county's website, there is a mapping portal, and it's specifically designed for voter registration. It tells you exactly which county council district you're in. So I would start there. However, if you're pretty confident about which district you're in, you can take a look at our sample ballot, your sample ballot. They are listed on the county's website. That website is gtcounty.org/vote. View your sample ballots, know your candidates, know your ballots ahead of time.
Well, anything else you want people to know that they need to know, whether it's concerning early voting or June 11th?
Just keep in mind your important dates. Early voting will take place until 5 p.m. this Friday, June 7th. That will be the last day to early vote. If you miss the early vote deadline, you still have a chance. That's June 11th at all locations, but you have to go to your polling place on that day. Polls will open at 7 a.m., close at 7 p.m. Take your valid photo ID. If you don't have a valid photo ID, come to our office ahead of time. We can help you work that situation out. Show up to the polls, cast your vote. Your vote, your vote, your voice.